June
Recording in
16th
progress.
at 6 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order with Stephanie Granger, Sue Hanley, and Michelle Petoniak Crawford from the board present. Zach Cataldo and Joanne Belanger are absent tonight. Our first agenda item is executive session. Would somebody like to make a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Sue. It's been a month. I've forgotten your names. All right. Do you want to explain then, Ray, what has to happen?
Sure, absolutely. So what we're going to do is go out into executive session until, I believe we have it down until 6:15, and then we will be back. So
we disconnect.
Yep, you are, and then log right back in.
Do we have to roll call in and roll call out?
Yes.
Once we get there or now?
So you just took a vote to go into executive session. So we're going to go there and then we'll take a roll call.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So we leave and then come back in?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, great. Thank you.
health
Recording in
meeting
progress.
with the next item on the agenda to be open forum. Do we have anybody else in the meeting?
Nope, we have no questions that I can see. WestfordCAT is on. And that's all I can see at this point.
All right, then seeing nothing for open forum, we can move ahead to the approval of minutes. So we have the May 9th and the February 17th. The February 17th, well, we can start with May 9th.
I have a few comments on May 9th.
Okay.
Let's see. Page 2, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dick stated the health department and council on aging are collaborating and offering a free after school and camp program. Each program will be a week long. I think that should be 2 words. And spots will be filled using a first come, first served basis.
I think you shouldn't have the word "a" there, just week long will be.
Okay. And then on page 3, first paragraph, Dick stated the health department has been working closely, not close. And then paragraph 2, advertising throughout the community, semicolon, it is open to the public. And then paragraph 3, Dick stated the event, this event was a nature walk with goats and an opportunity, not a opportunity. And then in the last paragraph, Pan Am, not Pam Am, railways twice.
Oh, yeah. And I just had one on page 2, where COVID-19 education and recommendations at the bottom. Dick stated numbers have been rising since the beginning of May. That should be a period after that. And then there have been 66 cases recorded in the Maven system. Colon or semicolon, these numbers do not reflect home test positives.
Those all seem good.
And then again, under mental health task force, not to, but put an interest, a interest, just add an N to that. First sentence after mental health task force update.
An interest survey. Okay.
And one other thing, there's several cases where, and again, it's just semantics, but the word there, THERE, should be THEIR in several cases. Even in New Old Business, where you talked about Pan Am Railways regarding there, it should be THEIR, post-emergent herbicide.
All right, I'll make sure Alyssa's aware, the note taker.
Is that it? Were there other places where there was not?
There was in the
correct?
next one for the February one. There were a few.
Okay.
Yes.
So is that everything for May?
Yeah.
I
That's
guess.
all I have.
That's all I have.
Though I was absent, I guess I will go ahead and vote with you because I think
We
I
need a
to.
quorum.
Yeah, we need a quorum. So, and I can read them. So I will make a motion to accept them with the noted changes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Stephanie Granger, aye. Sue
Aye.
Hanley,
Aye.
Michelle.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so those minutes are approved, and then we'll move to the February ones where we were primarily just changing
No, I have a few
a
things.
few
actually.
things.
A few
I
things.
do as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first, Michelle, or do you want to go first?
Sure, go ahead.
So on page 2, Graham stated there, again, should be THEIR. Only option is to install a tight tank. That's one of the places where it's, and then on page 3, under COVID updates, data review and discussion, COVID-19 cases are declining throughout Massachusetts,
And
capital.
which
as a-
paragraph is that?
That's
Oh, I
the
see it.
first one, yeah,
Okay.
right under update. And so COVID-19 cases are declining through Massachusetts. I think there should be a colon there. And then as of Saturday, February 12th, Westford had only 4 positive cases. And then it says Dick stated that they were able to let go their 3 contact tracers who, it should be who, were hired through the grant, not that were hired. And then in the next paragraph, I have an issue about quarantining. The word is actually isolating when they've had COVID. So when it said the federal mask mandate will stay in effect until the middle of March, et cetera, riding the bus or returning to school on day 6 after isolating from a positive COVID-19 case. Wait a minute, let me see. Wait a minute.
What paragraph is that, Sue?
Wait a minute,
That's the
second, I'm trying to think, is this
second
saying the
COVID update
person's
one.
had positive? If they've had a positive case, they're actually isolating. If they're a close contact, they're quarantining.
Quarantine, okay.
Everybody uses that
Things
wrong.
have changed,
We're-
right.
Are people required to quarantine anymore? Unless,
This was back, remember, this was in May, though. This was
That's February. yeah.
this was a February. So these were minutes from February.
okay.
So not anymore, but this was back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were vaccinated.
And I think it's riding the school bus or returning to school on day 6 after isolating.
Yeah, from a positive case.
Yeah, when they were positive, when they come back, they have to wear their mask. Yeah. And then I was really confused on page 4 with resident Alex Gonzalez of 2 Elm Street stated the towns in Massachusetts that never had a mask mandate in place, and then 63 towns that will end their mask mandate on February 28th. I didn't know what that meant.
Where is this one?
It's right at the
These are-
top.
These are resident statements and.
No, I know, but I didn't understand it. He stated that there are, like, stated the towns in Massachusetts that never had a mask mandate, or stated that there are towns in Massachusetts that never had a mask mandate.
If I recall, he actually listed them.
Okay, it just, I mean, if you read that, I know that's his statement, but it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Like, I just, the wording is wrong. Like, so did he state that there are towns in Massachusetts that never had a mandate in place? And then he listed the 63
So-
towns or
So
something?
it'd be, and then there.
And then
are-
they listed, that's what I'm saying. It's just, I
Or-
don't really understand it.
and then noted 63 towns that will end. If we put
Something.
noted in, that would clarify.
All right, I'll have her double check.
Yeah. And then so the one that the resident wanted to change it, what's in this is what she wanted it to say, Ray?
Right, these are the
Okay.
revised.
Oh, okay. All right.
Is that it for you, Sue?
Pretty much, yeah. Few little, yeah.
Okay. So I have on page 1, last sentence, Leachfield, Leech, being misspelled. It should be Leach.
Yeah.
And then page 2, paragraph 1, 2, 3, all board members express concern with the septic tank being placed so closely to the lake. All were in favor of the tight tank. And then page 3, oh, let's see, that was Sue's changes. And then, let's see, what page am I on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Page 6. Update and discussion on environmental services manager. Under that, paragraph 3, personnel, not personal advisory committee.
Where is that?
That is under update discussion on vacant environmental services.
Oh, okay.
The town precedent is to go before the personnel advisory committee. And that was all I had.
And then can I just, one other question, under new old business, where it says currently the money is allocated for contact tracing and COVID kits, which are no longer needed. And then it's comma, working to see what some of the community needs are and where this money would be best spent. Should
Where
it be
is
like,
this, Sue?
so under new old business,
I see
Okay.
it.
it says currently the money is allocated and, which are no longer needed. Shouldn't that be a period? And we are working to see what some of the community needs are and where this money would be best spent or something like that.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
All
Is that it?
right.
I
Thank you
think
for the
that's it.
question.
Is there
I'll make sure she gets them.
okay. Is there a motion then to accept these minutes with the changes made?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, Stephanie Granger, aye. Sue,
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. So now we are on to meet. We're early, so is she here to meet the new community health and wellness coordinator? Is
She is. Yep. Let me just make sure she's able to get on. She is there. I'm going to panelist. Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
Good to meet you here, at least at a distance.
So
I'm
Nicole-
Stephanie.
I liked how it was view mode.
Nicole is our new community health and wellness coordinator for the community. And so she started about 3 weeks ago, Nicole.
Yes, the day after Memorial Day.
Yep. So she is working at the town manager's office, and we thought you would be interested in meeting her. And so I did include her job description in your packet. And yeah, so go ahead. Nicole, this is the board.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invitation. I am new, so I've been here for a few weeks, getting to know the town departments, getting to know the community, looking at the needs of the community and each department. Today I was with the Council on Aging, kind of exploring what occurs at that site, meeting with Allison. So it's been a wonderful welcome. The departments have been very kind, very open, discussing town concerns and issues, things that are going well, things that we can work on. So it's been a very kind and slow integration into the town. So.
What is your background, Nicole?
Sure. So I have a bachelor's in social and rehabilitation services and sociology. And I have worked for a nonprofit for the last 20 years in the world of home visiting parent support programs through few different agencies. So I was managing a program out in Westford County before I came here.
Great. Is there anything you'd like to know about us or that we can do to help you?
So I'm not sure. So I'm still getting to know. I've met with Ray and I've met with Brittany and Gail, and I met Abby today. And just, I guess I'm trying to just kind of see, what's occurring in the town and trying to just kind of assess each department and the needs, getting to know everybody in the community. I've read, various needs assessments from the different organizations that have provided them for Westford. Ray has sent me various few studies. Jody has as well, to kind of so I can familiarize myself with what's already been done within the community, what's ongoing, as far as what the health department's doing, I've met with the school as well to see what's working well with the school. You know, Dr. Chu was able to share as far as the panorama and providing those details when they're available. So I'm just trying to see what's happening within the, of course, school's out now. So in the fall, meeting with the school adjustment counselors within the schools. And I believe Courtney shared too the possibility of meeting with the school psychologist. I don't know if there's more than one.
Yeah,
You'd be familiar with that. I would.
So we're still in school. School doesn't get out till Tuesday.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, you
yeah,
have a half day on Tuesday. That's
Yeah,
right.
but yeah, there's several school psychologists. There's one at my middle school. There's one at Blanchard. There's high school. So there's several school psychologists in town. I'm not quite sure if there's 8 or 10 school psychologists. Yeah.
Yeah, and I met with a few select board members, Anita and Tom, the first week I was here, just as far as exploring their experiences with the 2 task force, what that's looked like, how this position came about, and their hopes, I think, for the position too. So that's kind of where I'm at as far as learning about the position in the town.
Great, welcome.
Thank you.
Excited to have you.
Ray, your hand is up. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, you know, the department is really excited to have Nicole here. We've met with her, as she mentioned, and we talked about a lot of programming that the health department provides throughout the year, both environmental, medical, community health and wellness programming. And so we really look forward to working with her and coming up with some great new programming. She's going to be instrumental on the mental health and wellness task force that the select board and the board of health members are working towards. So yeah, we look at this as a great collaboration with her and Brittany. And I just wanted, you know, to mention that I know that it's been a big focus for our board members to make sure that the mental health task force begins this year. So yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, that's great. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole.
Happy to get you on board and get working with you.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us tonight. All right.
Well, thank you, Nicole.
Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us. And I guess we're just excited to have you and work with you. And yeah, I think there's a lot of things that hopefully we'll be able to get done with the assistance of your position.
It's an evolving position. So I know that there's a lot more knowledge on this board than, you know, than I have as far as how the position came about, the needs. So that's where I am still in the processing and understanding of the needs. I've met with more than a handful of other communities that have this position. So I've explored as far as networking with other communities. I've met with about 4 or 5 towns that have the similar position. Titles are a little different. Community service coordinator, community wellness is unique to Westford, but you know, as far as reaching out to Acton and Lexington, Chelmsford, in Bedford, Townsend, Shirley, Pepperell. So those are the communities. So as far as, you know, instead of reinventing the wheel, what has worked well with these communities that already have this very established position, you know, as far as what they've done within their towns and how they've networked and utilized the position for the residents of the community.
Oh, that sounds great and interesting to kind of see what they're doing.
Well, it's perfect timing with COVID as well. So the increase in mental health needs is definitely there. And I'm a huge supporter of health and wellness in all aspects. So welcome.
And thanks for making time to join us this evening.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, are there any other questions for Nicole? Just a big welcome. Thank you. And thanks for coming again. So, all right, then I guess we can move on and hopefully we'll work with you and see you around at various things and activities that we get together. Okay, so our next thing is the variance request, but we may want to move that for time.
Sure, if we could
And-
take some things out of order since
Right.
we don't have those people on board yet.
So let's move to the town meeting updates.
Sure. So town meeting went very well. The assistant director position title was approved. We had one question. A resident was concerned that they wanted to make sure that the environmental health piece of the position was still going to be part of the department, in which case I got up to reassure them that is the case. The job description is the same, it's just a title change. And so that went well. We were also approved for a revolving account for immunizations. We originally had a cap at 60,000 and we were approved to 75,000 per year due to the increase in costs for the immunizations and some of the programming that we want to, for instance, shingles vaccine is something we want to do in July. So that was great. And the last item was the Healthy Lakes and Ponds collaborative at the meeting, and that was also approved. That's something that comes before town meeting every year. We received $175,000 from community preservation, if you remember, to help with the lakes and ponds with treatments and maintenance. So that's the town meeting update. Unless you had any questions, it ended about 2:30. Beautiful hot day. Stephanie was there, and yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, it went pretty fast for town meeting.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good question. The person who just wanted to make sure that with the title change, we weren't leaving out.
Yeah, I thought that was
Stuff.
great. I wasn't expecting that, so I'm glad.
Okay. Our next agenda item that we'll take out of order, I guess, is the ARPA update and discussion. Excuse me.
Sure. So Tuesday night, past Tuesday, I was on with a few board members here, as well as our accreditation coordinator and myself for our ARPA requests that were on the select board's meeting agenda. Unfortunately, they weren't able to review all of the agenda, new proposed agenda items. They did say that the next round of funding, which is 3.7 million, will be received between June and August, and they will let us know when they will be able to review those ARPA requests. They did approve some other items, and I believe they left about $145,000 in the account. So just a reminder, we have a request in for $20,000 for our senior dental program. That's already currently existing. We fundraise that through the health department every year. And so we were just looking for some additional funding to put in the account for years to come. The second request is hoarding. So that is through ClearPath. That's $5,000 request with the Senior Center, Council on Aging, and the Health Department to train not only police, fire, and health department employees, it's up to 40 employees, but some MRC volunteers to help with hoarding cases. Right now we have 5 cases, which is kind of unprecedented to have that many cases right now on the docket. So we're seeing more and more hoarding and clutter issues here. We have just collaborated with Acton and Chelmsford on a hoarding task force. So that is requested in. And the last request is the request for the community health assessment and community health improvement plan. So talking with Stephanie and the senior center today, we are going to go ahead and certainly ask for support letters through the departments and committees here and to go with those requests.
Can I ask you a question? So,
Sure.
so between June and August, the town is going to get $3.7 million.
Correct. So the town is receiving a little over a total of $7 million for ARPA funding, and the first wave has already been received, and pretty much spent. Like I said, I think there's about 145,000 left, and the second wave is expected between June and August.
So what kind of things besides health are, like, what is the town going to be requesting with that?
So there's all kinds of requests, there's criteria, there's, I believe it's over 45 different criteria that you can apply for it, and that is under the American Rescue Act. So things like wastewater treatment updates, the schools have lots of requests in for different items. The Council on Aging put in one example is the mobile clinician. So they are in the process of hiring a mental health clinician to offer mobile treatment appointments for folks that are waiting for treatment of all ages. So there's a variety, police cruisers, all different items from different departments.
So, and at this point, all you're going to ask is about 200,000 or something out of a $3.7 million?
Yeah, a little over 200,000. I know in the past we have asked for funding for test kits. We've asked for funding for contact tracers, which is still open. We've asked to leave that item open. I believe that's about 30,000. We've asked, just, not sure what's going to happen for the summer or the future. So we asked to keep that open. We do have a request in for part-time tobacco help, and that is still open.
Well, I mean, I think, when you were talking of even about I understand they don't want to use ARPA funds to, for a position, for example, I understand that, but what about contract? What about, paying a contractor to do some of these things? That's not hiring for a position, but you have this kind of money coming in. I would think that would be a good use of it to request that we haven't had a chance to do any tobacco inspections for years. I would think that should be a priority when 3.7 is coming into a town.
And when you review the ARPA priorities as it was listed in the documents for what the funds were supposed to be spent for, it was clear that public health and health departments were a high priority, and they were supposed to have the option there to increase staffing above what it was going into COVID. So that was one of the stated things that gave a percentage on the staffing. So yeah,
I will always struggle with this kind of money coming into the town. I struggle with it in the school as well, that all this kind of money is coming in. There should be a lot of money going into public health. And, this is, we hear over and over and over and over and over again, there's no money, there's no money, there's no money. Well, there is money now. So, this has been a source of frustration, I think, for a lot of us for a long time, that we're told no. And I would say we need to ask as much as we can. I was even thinking with, the mental health task force and all that, I think we need to discuss some ideas, and I would be requesting funds for different ideas around the mental health piece if, again, that kind of money is coming into the town. So I hope that a lot of it's not absorbed by costs that the town has not funded, when this money's available because of a public health crisis. That's why. So this is the time that we should be asking for everything that we've said, we've been told no to for years. So, I mean, that would be my request, is that we be asking for even more than what you're asking right now.
And I think it's important that we do really maybe talk with select board members about the reasonings and such before this next set of approvals.
Okay. Yeah, and I will certainly make modifications to our tobacco part-time contract, and I will get that information.
And I'd be happy to talk to you, Ray, off,
Sure.
Not here, but off, about some ideas that I have. But
Oh, that would be great. One update too with the ARPA funding is we do have a earmark from Jim Arcaro for over $300,000. The community does. And I know that we've put in a request for HVAC for the schools and the senior center. And they've also set aside $40,000 for mental health initiatives. So we are waiting from DPH to have that approved. We recently met with Sue for the Mental Health Collaborative. And so we are working with them to come for the fall. One of our grants through Public Health Excellence is going to pay that $1,400 fee. So I just wanted to let you know that too, that I know it's just a start, but it's separate from, these Arpa requests with the select board, but I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, we should talk to other towns as well and see what they're requesting. Because, I think that might help. And again, I'd be happy to be involved in helping with that, reaching out to other towns to see what their towns are funding health-wise through
Yeah.
ARPA. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that, we put in these requests quite a while ago and, let them know if they had any questions. I know they mentioned on Tuesday night they will have more questions and they will reach out to me offline. I did let them know too that the town of Andover and North Andover are also using ARPA funding for a community health assessment and improvement plan. Yeah, those are the updates there. So we are talking other communities to see what folks are using the funding for.
And one other question. So this is coming in June, August. Do they anticipate there'll be more funds coming in, or do they anticipate this is the end of the funding through ARPA?
So at this time, it's 2 waves, and wave 1 has come, and wave 2 is expected between June and August. That's all I know. I don't believe
You don't know
we-
beyond that. Okay.
Right now, we sit on, our department sits on the state committee, who's working with our local senators and representatives on more public health funding, but that's still in the works. So I don't know if we'll see more ARPA funding down the line.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Michelle, anyone else have any other comments or questions on the ARPA funding? Okay.
No,
thanks,
all
Ray.
set. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ray. Okay, so we're still a couple minutes ahead, so maybe we can discuss
It looks like
COVID-19.
Jeff is online though.
He is.
Okay, is he the only one we're expecting, or are we waiting for
He's the
abutters
only
and
one. I don't believe
neighbors?
we're waiting for any abutters. I can promote him.
Okay,
And, yeah.
was there?
Yes, he disappeared.
There he is.
There he
Here
is.
he is.
Hi, Jeff, are you there? It's muted.
Jeff, are you there? Jeff Hannaford?
Maybe he's waiting.
He could be having a snack.
Yeah. So in the meantime, shall we just quickly take our COVID-19 education and recommendations out of order?
Yes. So COVID-19, couple things. I did put out some education this week to let the public know and update our web pages that we're excited to report that our case counts, or I should say our positive case counts through the state surveillance system, that is not home kits, has decreased quite a bit. This time last month, we were in the 240 range. Right now we're in the 80 range. So that's good news for what we're seeing for our cases and with phone calls, is that it is a mild subvariant. However, for people, this is not over and folks should still be vigilant. As I mentioned at the last meeting, fully vaccinated means you need to have your series of COVID-19 vaccination and 1 booster. So Gail, our public health nurse, and myself have been talking and planning for July is the earliest we could put out a booster clinic for both the public and employees here. We're also working on a single vaccine clinic for July and August for our senior employees and senior residents.
I just had my second booster, and I'll tell you, they're plentiful. It was very easy to get it through CVS. Yeah.
For COVID, you're saying?
I got my second COVID booster.
Me too.
Yeah,
I did as well. Very
Yeah.
easy with
very
CVS.
easy. Yeah.
Good. Oh, I'm glad because I've talked to Walgreens and CVS here in the community, and they said their appointments are pretty wide open.
Wide open. Yeah.
Wide open.
Yeah.
So, we're watching certainly all the research. We are on weekly calls with the state on all the subvariants, what's happening both with monkeypox, COVID-19, and trying to keep up with the latest research in science and information. But
As
again,
far as monkeypox, do we have any concerns, or is this considered to be kind of a minor blip?
right now, yesterday we were speaking with the Department of Public Health and they were mentioning the rising cases right now in Massachusetts. And certainly, we're putting out education to let folks know. I would say, unlike other, for instance, when HIV or AIDS first appeared here in the United States, with monkeypox, it's 2 to 4 weeks that you could see not only pustules or the rash, and have concerns with having the rash. However, there are antiviral drugs that are available, and there is a vaccine available for monkeypox. So thankfully, it's not deadly, I would say, here in the United States at this point. So we're just trying to educate people. I don't want to create a panic with monkeypox because there are drugs available, unlike when COVID-19 first surfaced.
I thought that the document that I saw that they put out talking about, you get it through close contact, but you're not going to get it by opening a doorknob that somebody else has tried to open. Like it's prolonged close contact, and that was a helpful bit of
Kissing,
information.
Contact, correct. So it's not something you're going to pick up. It's something if you're using someone's towels or borrowing someone's shirt that might have it, but not something where you're touching a piece of paper or a countertop, things of that nature.
And there aren't that many cases in the state yet.
Correct.
So it's not.
I think it was, I thought I heard only like 8 or
4,
something
yeah.
like that. It's still pretty low. Yeah.
It is. I think we're up to 68 cases in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's relatively low. So,
Yeah.
We've tried to educate the public through social media and our webpage, but we haven't received any calls or any major concerns.
Thanks, Ray. So yeah, get your boosters.
Yeah.
Make sure you're up to date, which means you've got your booster shot, at least 1, 2 for those who are able is a great plan.
Right. One last item for COVID. We are receiving 4,500 COVID kits, rapid kits for the public, and those are coming in this week. As soon as we have those, we will advertise that. We're going to put some at the senior center, library, here at the town hall, and then we will set up a date with MRC volunteers to hand that out to the public. We are still receiving calls on folks looking for kits, so
Okay.
that's the last thing.
And I know, I'm not sure if it's through all insurance, but I know that as a senior citizen, my mother is able to get kits, 5 kits every month. There are 5 tests every month. So that's free. So seniors should be able to, I think, have that benefit through Medicare. Okay, great. Let's see if we have Jeff with us so that we can discuss the Title V variance request.
Hello.
Hello, Jeff. Welcome.
Welcome.
So you are here to talk to us about the Title V variance request for upgrade to a failed septic system at 2 Oakdale Road.
Yes. I apologize. This is the first time for me on a cell phone doing this, but I think I finally mastered it. Enough to know I don't want to do it again. I'll make sure I have a computer. So for the record, Jeff Hannaford, I'm representing the applicant for 2 Oakdale Road. Quick background, 2 Oakdale Road is a small dirt road. It's a dead end. This is the only dwelling on the road. It's actually off the end of Sand Beach Road. Sand Beach is off of Beaver Brook Road, not far from Concord Road. So just to kind of give you an idea, the rough locale of where we are. If you've seen the plan, you can see that there is wetlands on 3 associated with Forge Pond. We did our soil testing. There's good sandy soils. I've done other septic upgrades on Sand Beach Road, so I'm familiar with the area. Thank you. This is an upgrade to a failed system. The failure was the fact that we could not get a system 50 feet away from the subject well. The owner of the lot had come to me when she was thinking of purchasing it. When I looked at it, I had told her that although there are certain variances allowed, you cannot get a variance to less than 50 feet to a well. So I said, that being the case, I think the only thing you could do here is a tight tank. So she walked away from it. She called me back about a month or two later, said she had spoken to the water department. They have water on Sand Beach Road. So they said that she would be able to extend it down to her property. And so with that, we could design a system for her lot. However, there is the last house on Sand Beach Road is abutting this parcel. They're still on a well. So what we're here for tonight is a setback to that well. What my client is going to do as they extend the water line to Oakdale, they're also going to put in a stub for the dwelling next door on Sand Beach, such that any point in the future, when they need to upgrade their septic system, they'll be able to tie into town water and won't have an issue with their well. But because it is an abutter's well, we don't have complete control over it. Like I said, the best my client could do is leave them a stub to connect in the future, which is quite a benefit. The fact that my client is paying to bring it down, it's a definite cost savings for the abutter for the future consideration. With that, what we were able to do in the design for 2 Oakdale, because of the wetlands and the abutting well, is we designed a system for a 2-bedroom dwelling, which it is. We incorporated an innovative alternative type septic tank and a conventional, a conventional leach field. We do have variance for setback to the wetlands and to the foundation, but what's important here is to note that a lot of times on small lots, especially with wetlands, one of the issues that we have trouble complying with is the vertical offset to groundwater. That's one of the critical offsets besides distance to a well, because all of the filtering action of the effluent occurs in the soil under the system. So you really need that vertical offset to ensure that you don't contaminate the groundwater. So we're able to meet the 5-foot offset required by Title V to the water table. By introducing the IA tank, the effluent coming into that will be cleaner than a conventional septic tank. Considering the fact that right now there's a system where the effluent is definitely getting into the groundwater, and it's within 50 feet of the well, that this system is a significant upgrade to what's existing. So I think together with the fact that town water is being brought in, town water will be available for the abutter, that asking for the variance to the abutter as well as the others, was warranted.
Thank you. Abby or Ray, did you have any comments?
I do, think this is another one of these lots, unfortunately, that has wells in the area. Luckily, the property at 2 Oakdale will be tying into town water. But he is putting in the treatment for the tank, which will at least hopefully treat the effluent. Obviously, the only concern is a butter at 21 Sand Beach. I think, Jeff, you did try to notify them, correct? Doesn't seem like anyone came tonight.
Yes, right. The owners actually live in Florida. The person I spoke to lives in the house, I believe is their daughter. I spoke to her, I explained the situation to her. And she didn't have any objections, but of course, when you cold call someone like that, there's a lot for them to think about and consider. I reached out by phone, left her, the daughter, a message, as well as notified the parents by certified mail. I haven't received anything back, but I did explain in my voicemail to her and in the abutters notice that this was occurring. And I did speak to the daughter and let her know that there would be a stub for them.
Okay.
I didn't receive anything from them either way.
And I know we were hoping to get a well test done for that adjacent property, just the Title V well test.
Right. If the board is amenable to the variance, what I would suggest is a condition on the variance that my client, with whatever practicality, it's not their well, we can't force them to give us a sample, but we're able that my client is able to test the abutting well just as a baseline. In my opinion, that because my client's tying into town water and putting in a system that's a significant upgrade, that if there is an issue with that well today, it's probably because of their own system, because my client's property's been vacant for some time. And moving forward, if we had the baseline test, if something happened in 6 months or a year or 2 years, whatever the date might be, again, having the stub there to connect to town water would be the action item anyway. So we'll do our best to get the sample, but I would just caution the board on making a condition saying something like shall, which would put my client in the awkward position of having to do something they don't have the right to do. But they're amenable to doing it and paying for it as long as they agree to, allow us to take the sample.
Okay. Abby, was there anything else?
I don't think so. I mean, like I said, I think, obviously that's the concern is the adjacent well, and it is on the property, if you can see, of 2 Oakdale, which, some of these complicate things, but Jeff did have the plan surveyed and stamped by a land surveyor. So pretty confident that, with his surveying, so.
So the abutters well is on these people's lot?
Yeah, you can see I can't point and you can't see it, but yeah, there.
Now, why did that happen?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's probably an older property, camp type property.
They're
Pardon me?
older camps in this area. We've actually had a housing case at 2 Oakdale for over 4 years.
Okay.
The residents passed over this time, and issues with contaminated wetlands, and it's very close, the two buildings. So that's the reason we asked for the land to be surveyed, just to make sure where the lot lines are. I guess my only question is, Jeff, do we know where the septic system is for this property? I'm just wondering if the well's here, if the septic isn't on their property.
It's out in the back. I don't
Okay.
have the exact location. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And why is the town water going down there?
Because my client's paying to have it brought to their property.
Okay.
Are there
I
any
mean,
other?
I think there has to be something done, as Jeff said, the current system, if you can see, Ray, if you would just point that out, yeah, on the plan. I mean, that's even closer to the well. We don't know, if that's where exactly it is in the water table. Obviously, it's closer. I'm assuming that's probably I don't know the date of the system. I don't think we have anything on record for it, so it's probably pretty old, probably, not in compliance, I'm gonna bet, with today's code at all. So I do think, of course, this would be an improvement. I just, I would like to see, the abutter tie, of course, into town water as well, but I'm not sure, if we have the authority to do that.
So nobody's been living at 2 Oakdale?
Correct.
For how long?
4 years, at least. Yep, it's an old cesspool in the back.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, is anybody interested in making a motion?
I'll make a motion for the variances if Abby feels comfortable with it. I mean, you guys know way better than we do. Do we feel good about? Is this the only option for them, do you think?
I mean, I guess the options are this or a tight tank, as Jeff said before, originally he told his client. I don't know if Ray, if you have any, other suggestions. But...
No, I think this is a significant improvement from what they've had. Short of a tight tank, they are able to get a conventional serve.
Which is preferred, yeah.
Correct. And they are also putting in a singular tank, which is very popular for these tight areas in Westford. We do see these kind of tanks that help treat the nitrogen. And so this is a good thing. And the fact that they're tying into town water and we don't have to worry about a contaminated well, I think is important.
And I would say when the abutter, let's say they have an issue with their septic or they have a Title V to sell it, I would think they pretty much have to tie into town water at that point, because their system is probably, I don't know how far it is from their well, but they don't even have the well on their property. They're probably going to have to tie in too, I would assume. So.
Yeah, could I answer that?
Yeah.
Or add to that, please?
Yeah.
When requesting a variance to a well like this, DEP outlines steps that should be considered before an approval. And one of the steps is there any other area on the lot where they could drill a new well and be 100 feet away without a variance? Steps then is, if you can't do that, is there town water available?
Mm-hmm.
And so, before a variance is considered, you have to look at those steps, those possibilities to abate the problem. So in this case, my client's doing it for their lot. And so, when Abby is questioning, well, what happens to the neighbors, then their lot will go through the same steps. If they fail a Title V, they have a well, they have septic, you guys have every right to say, well, unless you have room to put a new well somewhere else, you have to tie in. That's exactly what DEP wants.
Yeah.
They don't want you to grant the variance if there's those other steps that can be taken. So.
And so this property, I'm looking at the little plant-like, I guess, is that indicating that that's
the wetlands?
that's wetlands out around there?
Correct. Yep.
It's like a peninsula of greenery around this whole property. It's all
Okay.
wetland.
I think I tried to search for it, but I don't think I found the,
Oh, I should. Yeah, it's a little lost corner of the town. I should also point out that we've been in front of conservation, and conservation has approved it conditional upon your approval.
thank you. That's
So I
helpful too.
think just kind of getting back to the issue of the neighbors, well, to me, you know, being in this business as long as I have, in a situation like this, having the water line is an absolute gift. You know,
Yeah.
without town water, if you're dealing with a well, you have a tight tank. You know, that's a significant reduction in property value. And so the fact that water was available, my client's bringing it down, that they're effectively setting up the neighbor for a very nice situation when it's their turn to deal with their septic system. They'll have a very nice solution to their problem and won't need to go through the variance like we are now.
Okay, thanks. All right, so Sue,
So I'll make a motion to approve. You have to do it one at a time, I think, right?
yeah.
Oh, Ray. Ray.
Oh, right.
I'm sorry. So just before you take a vote, so we want to make sure that in the motion too, that we are asking for also that they, as Jeff had said, shall test the well. And the other thing, Jeff, I just want to make sure, maybe add as a condition that when the neighbor does need to tie in the town water down the line, that they're able to have this well abandoned on this property. So the well will need to be abandoned at a certain point, and it's on these folks' property. So I just want to make sure access is okay.
So does that need to be part of a motion, the abandoning? So we said not to say shall, but to say will offer to test or something.
That would be good. Yeah. Yep. And Ray, what you're saying is a condition saying that the stub that will be left for the abutter will be in an area that they can bring the water directly in on their property. Is that right?
No, so the current well, the neighbor's well that's right here, eventually when
Yep.
Sand Beach has to connect into town water, you know, they use the stub and they connect in.
Yep.
They'll need to abandon this well. This property will be responsible for abandoning this well, but it's on their property. So I want to make sure these folks realize that when they need to abandon it, that they're able to access it to abandon it.
I understand now. Good point. Yes. Yep, you could condition it that the owners of 2 Oakdale understand that if at any point in the future the existing well for the abutter that has to be decommissioned, that they have the right to do so. I think in talking to an attorney, they would automatically have the right because of prescriptive rights. It's been there for so long. The abutter does have rights to it, even though it isn't their property. But putting it in the condition will clarify that for my client.
Thank you.
Now I'm confused. So does somebody else want to make the motion? Because I don't understand the wording about what I'm supposed to say here.
I'm just trying to figure out which one it would, how you would, is it?
So this address, Abby, correct me if I'm wrong, is 21 Sand Beach Road, is that correct?
21, yep.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that the motion includes the approval of both variances for 2 Oakdale Road. And you can put in whatever wording you want for that they need to make sure they test this well. And then the second part of that is that 21 Sand Beach Road, when needed, is able to decommission the well at 2 Oakdale Road.
So those would both go with the second item, correct? Because that's the one that addresses the well.
Correct.
Okay, so we can make a motion to accept the first item without changes and add those 2 additional pieces to the second one.
Correct.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to accept the Title 5, 310 CMR 15.4051 G, distance to private well from soil absorption system, 100 feet required, 53 feet provided. To accept that variance.
Private well located at 21 Sand Beach Road.
For this one, it's the system at 2.
No, there's 2 different, we have 2 different letters in our. and-
Okay,
Yeah, and it says the variance is as follow, and one of them, Title 5, 310 CMR 15.4051 G, distance to private well located at 21 Sand Beach Road from soil absorption system, 50 feet proposed.
all
I
right.
would-
So
I would
you want to
use
do that
that.
one then, Sue?
Yeah. I would use that one.
Okay, I'm not looking at that. Is that,
They were both in the package. One must have been.
is that the updated? Am I not on the updated ones?
This was to the abutter. I think, so there's 2 different letters. One came to the board members, one went to the abutter.
Oh, you
in the
want the
one that-
one to the board members.
But Jeff, in the one to the abutters, you put distance to private well located at 21 Sand Beach Road. And in the one to us, you didn't have the address listed in there.
Oh, okay.
So it's the exact same thing, except one has located at 21 Sand Beach Road, which I think should be in there.
Well, it certainly can be in your motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I
Yep.
said plus 2.
Do you want me to read it? Because I'm looking right at it.
Sure,
Yeah.
Sue, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the variance for Title 5, 310 CMR 15.4051 G, distance to private well located at 21 Sand Beach Road from soil absorption system. The 55 feet proposed is the variance.
This says from 100 feet to 53 feet.
No, that's the second one.
Mhm.
Oh.
On
I'm
the
very
agenda, it's written
confused.
on both.
No,
So it's 55.
it's 55.
Okay. So Sue's made that motion?
Yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, Stephanie, I. Sue,
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Okay, so that variance passes unanimously. And so then our second one,
That's the one I'm confused by how to word.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see where you're. So it would be the local board of health. Let's say I could make a motion to accept the local board of health variance request, section 6.4, distance to well from septic tank, pump chamber, or soil absorption system, 100 feet required, 53 feet provided. The owner of 2, what is the address? 2
Oakdale Road.
Oakdale.
Oakdale Road will offer to provide a well water test for the neighbor at
21 Sandy Beach.
21 Sandy
21
Beach.
Sandy Beach.
Sand Beach.
Sand Beach, period. And then what was the second piece?
Giving access to
Oh.
21 Sand Beach in the event that they need to decommission the well.
Okay, so access will be provided to 21 Sand Beach
Correct.
when they need to decommission that well. Their well on the property at 2
To
Oakdale. Okay. Does
doing
somebody
good.
have that written down for, yes, Ray has
Ray.
that? Okay, good.
We're good.
Okay, so motion made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Michelle seconds. All in favor, Stephanie Granger, aye. Sue Hanley,
Aye.
Michelle Petoniak Crawford.
Aye.
Okay,
That was convoluted.
thank you.
You did a great job. If you think that was difficult, you should have tried the design.
Thanks, Jeff, for that, and
Alrighty.
everybody for working
Thanks for
on
putting
that.
up with my connection problems too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Have a good
I know.
night.
All right, we will now move on to the mental health task force update.
Yeah, so the update for our mental health and wellness task force, we're working with the select board members and Nicole, our community health and wellness coordinator, with Brittany, regional community health and wellness coordinator, to iron out all the logistics. The select board has asked that we hold, and they would like to get together with the Board of Health members at a future date to discuss the lineup for how they want to roll this program out. So we're waiting. Today I got an update from Nicole that they're still gathering data.
Sue,
actually-
have you been able to work with them on this?
I talked to Tom Clay. He had asked me about ideas for the draft, and I had shared some things with him. So, and then I also have talked to John Mettleman, and he gave me some great ideas too. I think there's a lot of things that we'll be able to do, and I think it's exciting that, like, I can't wait to get together as a committee and kind of talk these things out, because I do think there are a lot of wonderful things we can do town-wide, you know, not just in the school. And, you know, some of the ideas were like, and Ray, you were at the that meeting with, he had done a presentation through the MRC, and, you know, he had answered some questions there. So then I followed up with a phone call to him, and he sent me some more information. But like, he had some great ideas about like every book club doing the same book, for example, on mental health. And October to me is a great time to do some of these things, because that is depression awareness, you know, mental health awareness type month. And then like every church has, you know, they have a discussion about mental health, like during the homily or whatever it is. Like, I love that. But he also talked about educating hairdressers and you know, all the people in town that we know, anybody in the town hall, and obviously police, fire, library. I mean, funeral home directors. And like, it was just very interesting talking to John about, you know, really thinking outside the box about the amount of people that could benefit from education. But I think it goes one step further. It's not just about education, but, you know, to me, and I love the fact that it's the wellness health, you know, coordinator, is we got to talk about wellness too, and other ways that we can cope with stress and anxiety besides, you know, medication and counseling. There's a lot of other healthy things that we can encourage people to do. You know, mindfulness, exercise, meditation. So I'm excited about some ideas, or even posting more information on our website, you know, the Westford Health Department website, with, you know, different things every month or every week or something that we give, like an update or you know, something every week that, like, an idea to people for something health and wellness. So I think that it's exciting, and I think there's a lot that we're going to be able to do, and I'm excited to get involved with this. So I'll have more
Thanks, Sue.
time.
Can you tell me who John Mettleman is?
So John Mettleman, he's worked as like a wellness, health and wellness coordinator, kind of what we were talking about with Nicole, he's done this for other towns, Needham. And he's a social worker and he does a lot of presentations. He's around the state. He's a very good speaker. And he talks a lot about, anxiety, depression. And so.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we're very excited. So, as Sue said, we've been talking with Sue as well, and we want to reach out to lots of different committees here in the community as far as diversity, inclusion, make sure we're including our cultures here and our subpopulations. I'm really excited about the clergy project, and we can't wait to get going.
Yeah.
So our hope is that we can move this forward soon. So I just wanted to let you know that is still something that's happening actively in the background. We want to roll it out right, so we are taking, the proper steps so that we don't get it out, too quickly. So yeah.
Thank you.
But if you have any questions or any, input, just let us know.
Is that your cat, Abby?
You just had to walk across my keyboard. No.
Okay, great. Our next item then is new and old business. You have the Upper Merrimack Valley Medical Reserve Corps newsletter on here, Ray. Was there something you wanted to say about that?
So yeah, just a couple quick things. Is the Nancy Burns, who is our Upper Merrimack Valley Medical Reserve Corps coordinator. We roll out one newsletter every year, and she's worked really hard on it. And so we wanted to make sure that you saw that in your packet that goes out to all 600 plus members. They were active at town meeting, and we want to thank them they were handing out water, blood pressure clinics, and they've done some amazing things. So that newsletter has been added to your packet. Another couple things that was added to your packet was the latest on the Central Mass Mosquito Project for all residents out there listening. This is a project that any resident has the right to give a call out to our Central Mass Mosquito Program. If you're having issues with beavers, if you would like your yard to be sprayed for mosquitoes, you can reach out to them.
Sorry, you said beavers as well?
Yep, they do have a Beaver Project as well, and program that they help folks that are experiencing issues with beavers in their backyards. They've been very effective with helping some of our residents here in the community at no cost. They will pick up tires that you might have in your yard that are kicking around, if you will, and you need those removed so that we can make sure mosquitoes aren't making a home in them and spreading disease. They do have the latest project here for abandoned swimming pools. So if anyone has an abandoned swimming pool that they're not able to cover, or they're having a mosquito issue with a neighbor that has an abandoned swimming pool, feel free to reach out to the health department. And this too is also a free service with Central Mass Mosquito.
So how, Ray, and where can people find information on the Central Mass Mosquito Control Project?
Sure. So they can go to their website, which is www.cmmmcp.org, and they can look up all the information on Central Mass Mosquito. They can also, residents can call directly 508-393-3055. And that is the number there for Central Mass Mosquito if you'd like to make a request for your address. If you'd also like to make a request that you do not want your yard sprayed, you can also file that as well right online. This time of year, they tend to have a waiting list, but you can get through and be added to the list. So one last item is PFAS. So PFAS has come up here in Westford. The EPA just came out yesterday, actually, rolled out new requirements for PFAS, which is a forever chemical that is been used for 50 plus years in all kinds of products, rugs, DuPont, Teflon, things of that nature. It's in some food wrappers, different things like that. So it's called pear and polyfollicle substance. which is PFAS. And so I just wanted to let you know that we are working on a campaign with the Academic Public Health Corps. They're a group of volunteers that have been around for a little over a year and a half now, at least, that are helping local health departments with any kind of community health education programming. So we've reached out to them to see if they can help us put out a community-wide educational campaign on PFAS and what that means for private drinking water wells. Here, it was just announced the other day that we have PFAS in some of our wastewater treatment plants that some of our schools are hooked up to. What's happening is when they go to clean the rug in the schools, the rug itself has PFAS in it. And so that water is going into the treatment plant and eventually making it out to our community wells. So those community wells have been shut down and private drinking water owners have been notified in those areas. But this is, you know, something that the DEP and EPA are taking very seriously, and we want to too. So that came up yesterday, so we want to make sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, I think there was some stuff in the water department's newsletter, but it sounds like the EPA just dropped the acceptable levels even lower.
Correct. So yeah, most people don't realize that the Mass DEP does not require private drinking water wells to be tested for anything. You're the owner of your own water supply, if you will, if you have a private drinking water well. Here in Westford, we do have regulations when you go to sell your home or you put in a brand new well. So,
but not for PFAS at this point.
If a resident would like to have their well tested for PFAS compounds, there are nearby certified laboratories that will take that test, will help you take that test. So that costs about $400. And they'll test for 12 compounds, 6 of which are regulated. So if there's a resident that's interested.
And there's an option for, you had mentioned, for putting a filter on, is that?
Yes, so there is a high active carbon filters that you can hire a well company. And we do have a list here at the town hall, if health department, if any resident needs assistance with that, then you can reach out and see if you can have a filter put in for your system, for your water system.
Thank you very much. I think that's something that's unfortunately affecting all of us fairly dramatically.
Yes, it is. And I think that's it, unless you have anything that you need. Last, we're here.
Did anybody else have anything for new or old business? All right, then does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Michelle. All in favor, Stephanie, aye.
Aye.
Do I?
Aye.
Michelle, aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next month.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Have a
good
great
one.
evening.
Good night, everybody. Good night.